Yeah, good morning, everyone. Appreciate everyone being on this call this morning. Let me start out by saying feel really good about the way training camp went and how the roster really came together this past week. A lot of tough decisions the past week, tough conversations really the last few days, but feel really good about where this 70-man roster is today. It's like a puzzle when we're putting this thing together from the 53 to the practice squad. I talked about the 53, the 16-man practice squad, and the one international player. And we're looking for the best combination of players that we can keep in the building, really with an eye on the game day roster as well. A little insight to the process. We have daily discussions throughout training camp internally amongst the coaches, the scouts, analytics. A lot of these conversations and meetings are led by Robbie, who you guys will hear from today. But from medical staff to the performance staff, it's daily about these players that we have here, how they fit us, what's going to be the best combination of players for the Jets. But amongst calls with other teams, throughout training camp, we're in constant dialogue with other teams about potential trades and how it might fit. And it always takes two to tango. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't, just based on different fits. But nonetheless, it was a great month of training camp, great process here at the end, and feel really good about the guys we were able to keep. And the process doesn't end today. As you know, the roster is fluid, especially early in the season and throughout the season with injuries. So we'll continue to work upstairs to see if we can add players that we think will help our team and add competition to every room and position room. So with that being said, I'll open it to questions.
Darren, how do you feel about the roster now compared to the one you inherited?
I feel really good about the roster right now. As mentioned, I think throughout training camp, we were able to evaluate and see the pieces that fit and add some guys here late at the end. So I feel really good about the roster today.
Darren, specifically on offense.
Darren, I was wondering specifically with the receiver spot, what is your thoughts on the options next to Garrett Wilson?
I like the room. I like the room as a whole. Obviously, it starts with Garrett, as you mentioned, and look forward to seeing him this year. We'll move him around. He can do it all. And then the pieces that go around him. I think we got pieces that complement each other there. We've got three guys in Josh Reynolds, Lazard, Tyler Johnson. They've all played in the league and had success. Bigger bodies. You can move them around. They can block in the run game. And then you got the speed piece with Arian and Gipp. Gipp's got speed. He can play inside. We'll find ways to get him some touches as well. So I feel really good about the room as a whole.
Yeah, we talked kind of in the spring about could you guys put Justin Fields in the best position to have success. Do you feel like with what you surrounded him with, that you've done that going into the season?
I do. I feel really good about the pieces around him. And it starts in that running back room, those guys next to him. It starts with Garrett in the wideout room we just talked about, as well as the tight end room. I think we've seen production from all those guys throughout camp, and I look forward to seeing how that evolves and continues to progress throughout the season.
Darren, where have you seen Justin improve the most in this camp, and where can he go?
Yeah, I would say the operation. I've seen it improve every day, and specifically this past week, I think we've really seen good rhythm out at practice with the offense, a balanced attack, some run, some pass, but just the overall operation, the command, his leadership, obviously named a captain, as many of you found out this morning. So seeing that growth has been really good.
We've seen in the league the last few years, quarterbacks, when they get to their third stop, sometimes it blossoms for them. You know the names, obviously.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if you've seen enough of Justin to believe he can be one of those guys.
I do. I do believe Justin can be one of those guys. And I like I just mentioned, I've seen the progress during this camp and look forward to seeing the progress throughout the season as they all come together. Obviously, it's his third stop in 3 years with 3 different coordinators and a lot of moving parts, so it does take time. But I like where it's at, and I look forward to watching the progress.
Can you speak to when you you heard that Harrison Phillips was somebody you had a chance to acquire, like how exciting was that, and what's it been like to get him in the building?
Very exciting. As I mentioned earlier, we're constantly in communication and having dialogue with other teams about potential fits. I have good relationships there in Minnesota with some of their staff. And when his name came up and we looked into it and had internal discussions on our staff, we were all very excited about the player and glad it worked out. He's going to fit in great. He's got a clear role. We got a clear vision for the player, and look forward to what he's going to bring to the team.
Robbie, what was your evaluation of Jelani Woods? He's somebody who was drafted pretty highly and dealt with some injuries, but I'm curious what you liked about him when you saw him became available.
Yeah, excited about the ad of Jelani Woods. He's a big, strong, physical blocker, but he also has value in the pass game as well. He was productive this preseason. We felt like he would really elevate the competition in that tight end room. So when that opportunity presented itself to claim him, that was something that both the coaches and the scouts, really felt good about, and getting Jelani here.
Darren, would you, as you try to build this thing, would you, philosophically, would you trade a premium asset, say a first-round pick, if you knew that you could make the team better this year?
Philosophically, hypotheticals, generally speaking, we're always looking to improve the roster in all different avenues. I don't know that I have a philosophy and not really into the hypotheticals, but we're always going to look to improve the roster in any way we can. Today, with a vision and insight, of the future too, and what that might mean for the team.
Darren, I know this was a while back, but we haven't talked to you since the spring. How high a priority was it to get those contract extensions done with Garrett and Sauce before you went to training camp?
Yeah, it was something we had talked about internally quite a bit. And when I got here, I had mentioned there were some foundational pieces here that we want to keep around. We want to draft, develop, keep our own. Those first few months, getting around Garrett, getting around Sauce, seeing them work, getting to know the player. Obviously, they both had a lot of success individually in this league. So it was something we talked about, and then once we went down that path, it was something that I wanted to get done, like you mentioned, before training camp. Wanted to avoid any distractions for the players and the coaches and staff, and glad it worked out the way it did.
Darren, how would you say your relationship with AG has grown? You guys have obviously never worked before you got here. I'm curious what the last 7-8 months have been like with him, and what's kind of maybe impressed you about the way he goes about business.
It's been awesome. It's really been fantastic. I couldn't have asked for anything better. AG and I talk daily throughout the day. We talk every morning, pre-practice, post-practice, end of day. Often it's about the roster and the team and in-depth discussions. Sometimes it's about life and experiences, but nonetheless, just watching him lead every single day throughout training camp, address the team, address the players, I feel just blessed to be around him and have him as the head coach of the Jets and work with him daily.
Darren, from a rookie standpoint, how have you seen Mougey, get acquainted with everything and assimilate?
Really good. Really good. Mougey, like many of our players, have had their rookie moments, but very encouraged and excited about his growth throughout training camp, and look forward to watching that growth throughout the season as well. We drafted and brought in several young players, rookies, and not just Mougey, but watching those guys grow throughout training camp has been really fun, and I'm encouraged and excited to watch their growth throughout the season.
You've made so many trades with 6th and 7th round picks going back and forth. Which draft picks do you actually have now for the 26th draft? Because I lost track.
Yeah, I feel like I lost track as well. I believe we have 1, 2. We're counting the comp games forward. We've got 2 6s and potentially 2 7s, depending on how all the comps shake out. But yeah, like I said, we're always just exploring ways to improve the roster, and if that comes by means of 6th and 7th round flops or giving up future late picks, if we feel it's the best thing for the team today and moving forward in the future, we'll do that. And we're constantly diving into the analytic studies of those value picks and the value of the player. So it's a collaborative effort whenever we do make those decisions and moves.
We'll take a couple more questions, a couple more.
Darren, you hit on the receiver room obviously earlier, but with the roster decisions, you guys had some interesting guys there that don't have much experience in the NFL. Pritchett, Brandon Smith, Skinner, were all kind of flashed during camp. How do you evaluate the potential of those guys versus guys like, that you mentioned earlier that have experience in the league, but maybe not as high of a ceiling as those guys, but you kind of know what you got there?
Yeah. No, I think you said it. We're constantly evaluating those guys and having those discussions. And one, let me start out, I feel great from top to bottom with that room and feel blessed that we were able to keep those guys around that you mentioned, Skinner, Pritchett, and Brandon Smith, to name those practice squad guys in particular. And like I said, to start, it's always a puzzle and a roster kind of juggle. How do we keep the best 70? What are the mechanisms we can use to do so? And being able to keep those guys on the practice squad and in the boat to continue to develop, but be available for potential elevations and game day, it worked out for us, and I'm excited about it.
Darren, in sort of the same vein, that defensive line, you have a lot of veterans and, a bunch of young guys who are competing also. How do you feel about that particular group?
I feel really good about the D-line group and how it came together here in this past week in particular. As we mentioned, Harrison Phillips, that addition, feel strong about that. We know exactly what we're getting at player. He'll help specifically in the run game, but he's an experienced player that's had a lot of success. And then to add Briggs, a young player that's played in the league last year and had success as well, I feel good. And then Jay Tuafele, you guys saw the things he did this training camp and preseason, and then Leonard Taylor as well with his pass rush. So the whole group, all five, it obviously starts with Quinnen up front, who's also another team captain, but the group as a whole, I think, complements each other well, and I look forward to watching those guys play this year.